Okay guys, so pardon the dirty van, but we're gonna have a discussion about solar panels. Obviously everybody knows that you can put solar panels on the roof. In addition to putting the solar panels on the roof, I'm trying to figure out if it's plausible to have top mounted. There would be a hinge at the top, and the way it would work is this. So you'd have the two rails most likely up the whole length of the van, potentially. Or maybe you just have a few cross members if you can find solar panels that are coincidentally the proper length to fulfill those cross members. So on the top of a transit van, there's every single one of those beams inside the van, there's mount points that you can, there's like these rubber plastic caps that you can drill down through, and now you're into the van. So what I'm thinking about doing is just having 1, 2, 3, and basically trying to find solar panels that fill the majority of that space between the cross members. Okay, and I just put up a cross member. So that's one option, is you just do a cross member, and then the solar panel sits down underneath the cross member, or between the two cross members. You create like little mounting brackets and so on and so forth. The perk to doing it that way is it's not as high up. Okay, now the other option is you can just run that unitrack stuff. You get some aluminum unitrack and you run it down the whole length of the van, and that's real easy. Now you just lay solar panel after solar panel after solar panel on its side. Either way, what you do is on that unitrack, you put maybe 3 different spots where you have a cross member come across the unitracks, the 2 unitracks, that comes and hangs over this right here by a few inches. It overhangs. So now you've got another spot where you can run an additional rail, okay? And that additional rail is hinged, okay? So that rail is hinged to those 3 different mount points, you follow me? And you would then hang the solar panels from that rail, okay? Unitrack, whatever you use. Now, with that said, so you bring the solar panels down, you'd want to create like a wing, an angle piece that when this thing is receiving wind, it's going to push it against the van. Okay, so it'd be like an angle like this, just be a custom piece that you'd make, and it would push it against the van. That way it's not trying to fling it away from the van while you're driving down the road. Meanwhile, these solar panels, I'm thinking you could have them come pretty far down. I'm tempted to take this here off and see what's underneath there, because if it's what I think it is, there's probably mount points, obviously, because we have that gray stuff mounts, that gray trim mounts to something. So at that point, if I took that off, I would have a mount point, at which point I can then create yet, I could have another lightweight rail on the bottom that attaches to all the different solar panels, and that lightweight rail would then fasten. I'd create a custom fastener where it would swing down and it'd fasten, there. And so what I'm thinking about doing is, I can always create like a shield on the back side of it right here to make sure that nothing from the tire gets flung up into it, is what I'm thinking. And I could have literally solar panels all the way basically to this magnet. Okay, you could have solar panel, just panel, and then what happens is when you get to wherever you're going, you just prop it up and it's like an awning. So now that awning, you can, of course, go outside, sit underneath, you're in the shade, and it's at an angle, so now it's getting sunshine. The ones on the top are flat. I would potentially figure out a way to tilt the ones at the top as well. So basically the ones at the top, if they did tilt, they would be tilted like this. These here would be tilted like this. So in general, everything would be pointed towards this way. So you'd always want to have your this side of the van facing south, or, you know, southeast, southwest, depending on the time of the day. So I'm debating doing that. I was debating using the flexible ones and putting on some sort of backing on them to make them a little bit more sturdy, and just kind of keeping it lightweight instead of heavy glass ones. The flexible ones, though, I hear are not that durable, especially if they're probably flapping around in the wind. It's probably going to hurt them. So I'm just kind of brainstorming right now. If they're against the van, I don't know how much they're going to be flapping, but I guarantee if you're next to a semi driving on the highway, you're going to get the buffeting and stuff, and it's probably going to. But I mean, if I did the flexible ones, I would have some sort of backing to them. They've got like that choreographed plastic, corrugated plastic, whatever it's called, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm just brainstorming right now, but all of a sudden I really like using this whole side and having it to where you could just prop it up once you get where you're going. Now, the only shitty thing is, like, one of the places I really like hanging out is, you know, like at the beach or something. And they always have these roads where they have like the bike lane and you're at the beach. Well, you know, one option is I would have this awning and it would have to come out across the sidewalk, which would then impair people at the sidewalk. They wouldn't be happy about that. The other option is I have it out into the bike lane. Okay. The question is, I don't think it's gonna, I'd get a ticket, I think. Anyhow, I could always just have them come halfway down the van, okay, halfway down the height, and, you know, prop up, so now they're kind of out of the way, but they're still gonna, somebody could still hit their head on them, even if you get them up to where they're flat. Someone could still, I was just brainstorming about ideas. If you had 2 layers of track, either side by side or on top of each other, and they're in rollers with each other, you could actually bring a thing of track out as like an arm, and then you could have like a pulley system like I have in there on the shelves, where I could lift the panel up to the track. You see what I'm saying? That way there's no beams underneath it. And then you lower it back down, fasten it, and then you slide the track back across and lock the track in place. So I'm just debating if that would work. I'm debating what would, I'm just brainstorming all over the place right now, just trying to think of anything I can think of. All right, that's all I got. See ya.